All right, so today we're gonna do a full review test drive of this, the 2025 Acura Integra A-Spec. Now let's look a little bit closer there. If you could see that, right in the bumper is Integra. So these cars date back to 1985 when the very first Acura Integra was created, and the holy grails of Acura Integras is the Type R. Matter of fact, a Type R was recently sold for $212,000. But anyways, these cars ran from 85 to 2006, where it ended its life as an Acura RSX. And in 2021, Acura brought back this car, the Acura Integra. Now there's many trims. This is the A-Spec. So we're gonna do a full review, walk around, talk everything about this car, all of the details. And you have the highest tier, which is the Integra Type S. But let's get to it. All right, so this, as I mentioned, is the A-Spec. So it has a very nice black grille there, and you have the gloss black, and you also have functional vents, right? So a lot of cars don't, and you see that it is functional. You also have your parking sensors there. You have the Integra in the hood. You have these very nice lights as well, and you have also this platinum white paint, which is very pearl, which is very nice. Then you have the nice Acura logo there. Then you have sensors there in the front as well. So this car is kind of the big brother to the Honda Civic. They share a lot of similarities, kind of the same size. The interior you'll see as well. But walking around, let's see what you get with the A-Spec package, right? So A-Spec package is very similar to what you get with an Audi, like the S-Line or the BMW M Sport, where you get a more aggressive, more sportier look. So you get A-Spec badges here. You get these nice gray wheels. They're 18 inches, 235/40Rs in the front and back. It is a front-wheel drive car. And as we take a look around, you have this nice little sporty hatchback. Again, very similar to the Honda Civic Sport hatchback. Then with the A-Spec, you get another badge here. Then you get this nice gloss black spoiler. And then as you come back around, you have two dual tip spoilers. You also have the nice black, kind of like a little diffuser there. And this also is a hatchback. You get a nice look around. So it is a very nice looking car. All right, so there's the key that you get. So this key, if you have the tech package, which this vehicle does, you get a bit larger key because you have the engine start there. So you basically lock the car, and then you gotta make sure you hold the engine to start. And then it starts. All right, so let's take a look. So you can get in either with the key by unlocking it. You have to lock the trunk in your panic. Or if you just have the key in your pocket, you just pull up the car, put your hand there, or you can lock it there. So that locks, that unlocks. So let's take a look at the interior. So right off the bat, you get this nice red interior, and because it is a tech package, you get the ELS 3D Studio. So this has 16 speakers and also a subwoofer in the back. Then you also have memory seating, and you have your controls here, the lock. This is to adjust your mirrors. And then as you come in, you're greeted with this A-Spec here. And then again, this is all, your adjustments there, your lumbar, and then you can also put the memory there. So now let's take a look at the interior. So look at the interior. You'll see that there's kind of like a cutout. So it's very reminiscent of the Type R, right? That cutout there. So again, the steering wheel is exactly like a Honda Civic, and I'll include a video here so you can kind of see the difference. Now where it's different from the Civic is you have this portion where the AC is integrated, so you have that here, and then the Civic goes all the way around. So you do see there's slightly differentiation between the Civic and the Integra. Again, the Integra is Acura's more upscale model, and then here you have, because this is the tech package, you have a slightly bigger navigation system screen. You have a bigger screen, And then you also have individual, you have your dynamic driving modes, auto start, your handbrake, bigger screen, and we're just actually going to turn it on. So then you have your pulsing engine start here, which is silver, foot in the brake. And now it's on. I also want you to hear, and then now you see that it's turned red. All right, so I'm going to turn it off. Just check your rear seats, but when you turn it on, you have this nice little dramatic music. Then you have ELS premium audio, and you have your home and your back. And because this is the tech package, you get a bigger screen. I believe it's 9 inches compared to your standard, which is 7 inches. So you have our apps here. You have AccuLink, you have Alexis app installer, you have your home, you have smartphone connection, smart circuit, you have Alexis, FM radio, Bluetooth. So I'm not gonna really go into deep dive into that, but that's kind of how it works. You also have heated seats here. Don't believe you have cooled seats, just heated seats. Then you have your AC, your modes here, your front, and then you can adjust there. You can sync, or you can do your own temperature, up to you. So again, very nice. Now let's look at the seats in the car. Very nice. So you have nice bolstering here, and you have kind of a two-tone. You have a red and a black. You have a suede in the middle here, which is very nice. And then you have these A-Spec mats, and then you have, you know, the silver brake pedal. Then you can adjust the steering wheel here. It's telescoping. You have the paddle shifters here. We'll get into that once I take it for a test drive. And that is pretty much it. You also get a sunroof here. So the sunroof is a small one, but it's still nice. And then once you have it open, you open it there, close it there, and you can put a little glasses there. Yeah, nice amenities, nice driving position, sitting low. Pretty spacious here. I'm gonna now take a look at the back seat, and I kind of want to show you my seating position and the space in the back. All right, so now getting the back seat of the Integra. So again, you have the same kind of material, same finishes back here. Now it's not two-tone, it's just strictly red. In the front, you have some black accents. But we come in here, and you have the silver door, again, straight out of a Civic. This also looks just like a Civic as well. And then you have the nice seats here. You do have 2 USB-Cs. Now, one thing I do not understand is in a car that's this upscale, why do you not have AC vents, right? Even the Type S and the Type R don't have that as well, which I don't quite understand. And here you have pockets, but you don't have pockets here. All right, and then I'm in the back, and then I have, 5'9", not the tallest, the average height basically, and then my head is pretty up here, so you don't have that much room because again the sloping looks very nice, but it's sometimes not practical for taller drivers. And then we're all sitting back here. You do have a little armrest, folds down, and then the 2 cup holders here. And then let's sit in the middle. Let's see how that feels. It gets very tight. And then because you sit in the middle, you have these little humps. And unless you have an EV, the middle row is really hard to sit in. And just give you a nice view from the passenger seat. Get a chance to see all of the Acura Integra. All right, now before we get into the trunk, I just want to show you this. This is one of my quirky things that I actually love about Honda is when you open the gas cap, you don't have, usually you have to unscrew it, put it here, put it back. Where here, you just have a capless system, right? Nozzle goes in. Once you're done, you just close it, and that's it. Very cool. All right, so let's look at the trunk. It is a hatchback configuration. Now, it is a manual. There's no button to close it. But you see, very similar size to my Sport hatchback. Then you have the nice A-Spec, so it's like a rubber. And then you have your subwoofer here. And then the seats do go down, so it's a 60-40 split. You have anchors if you have children. Put it there, so to put the seat down, you're just gonna click on here. push it down like that. And then you have very nice trunk space there. Now, one thing that this car does not have is a spare tire. So what Honda gives you instead is a little compressor. So in the event that you have a flat tire, you would put that in there. There's also some kind of little nozzle. You have compartments to put other things here, perhaps like a charging cable, or to jump the car if you needed a cable, you would put that in there. So you have compartments as well. And then you have a little net here as well. And let's hear the engine now. Sounds pretty decent. Dual exhaust. And then one thing I also forgot to mention is you do have this cover. So as you close it, you could cover that. The Civic has like a cover that you go from here to here, but once it closes, it's covered, and you can actually remove it here. I'm not gonna do that because it looks a little complicated, but yeah, you can definitely remove it. And now let's look at the passenger side seating. And before I go in, you also get the A-Spec here, A-Spec there. This is also be controlled. You have your side airbag. Very nice quality seating. And then as we sit down, again, ELS 3D radio. Then you have your adjustments here. Turn it off, turn it on. Then you have your glove box here. It does not lock though. So I wish they did that where you could lock it. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So let's go for it. All right, so before we take it out on the road, just want to go over a few things. So you have your modes here. You have your individual. So when you click individual, you can hit customize. And you can customize your engine. So comfort, sport. Comfort, normal, sport. Your steering wheel, suspension, kind of the same. So what this means is, let's say you want the engine to be on sport, but you want the suspension to be on comfort, or you don't want the idle stop to happen. So individual, by setting all that up, clicking there, that's gonna set everything up for you, right? So we're gonna go back to home, and then you also have your dynamic mode. This pushes down, and then you can go through your comfort. So comfort, the lights turn blue. It's a smoother vibe. And then you put in normal, it's white. Then you turn red, it's that traditional Honda Type R, Type S, Honda Racing red, right? That's when you do sport. And then sport just tightens up the steering, the engine, revs hang on a little bit more. So it's just more of a spirited driving. All right, so now we're in the sport mode, and because it's a CVT, it's not a traditional transmission where you're gonna have gears as you downshift. It really is just replicating it. It's pretending that it is a manual transmission, but it's not. But I mean, it does a fairly good job. So now you're in second gear. Now we're gonna take this turn here. And in the gear, it doesn't. So it's fourth, and it goes to 3. So it doesn't really go. Kind of does a rev match, but it's again not a traditional, transmission. It is a CVT. So we'll just put it back in comfort mode. So now the paddle shifters go away. So talking about the Acura, so it is again based on the Honda Civic, very similar dimensions, but it does drive a little bit more upscale. As you'll see, it has more features. Again, this is the A-Spec in it, so it has the more nicer, sporty look. It has the spoiler, has the badging, has the nicer wheels, and also the steering wheel tells you A-Spec as well. It's a nice leather steering wheel. You have the red stitching, you have the red interior. So it drives nice. It's again reminds very reminiscent of the Civic, and it's a great car. This car is about $39,000 and gets around 30 miles per gallon in the city, about 35, 36 on the highway. So I mean, seats are great, bolster you in. You have nice low position, and because it is the A-Spec, you have the memory seating, and you also have your electric adjustments that you can go up and down. And I'm kind of at the lowest setting, but still very nice, great visibility, great steering wheel. The steering wheel is actually very similar to the Honda Civic. As a matter of fact, its actual interior is very similar to the Honda Civic, and I'm just gonna drop a video in here as well, showing you guys kind of the comparison as well. And yeah, I mean, the car drives great. Again, it's not a performance. If you want the more performance variant, you're gonna go with the Integra Type S, but those are probably about $10,000 more than this. Again, that's kind of the big brother of the Honda Civic Type R, which is I'm a big fan of. But yeah, again, the car is a bit more upscale, even when the stocks, the sounds that it makes when you change the driving modes. You also have individual, so you can actually adjust if you want the steering a certain way and other features as well, the engine. So yeah, very cool. And then also the gauge looks slightly different as well. Now I just want to see the handling of the Integra, the A-Spec. Now this car does 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds. Now if you want the performance version, you're going to want the Integra Type S. That does 0 to 60 in about between 5.5 seconds. So that is faster, but again, it's not crazy performance, but I mean, it does a job. And again, this car in this spec is a great daily commuter. It's a fun car to drive. It's sporty, has great visibility, and it's an Acura. It's basically Honda, but it's the Honda's luxury version, Acura. So it's gonna have great reliability, great resale value, great gas mileage. So I mean, for the price point, I think it's a great car. I mean, the other options you have are some Kias, the Toyota, the GRs, but that's a two-door. The GRs are more comparison, I guess you'd say Civic. But yeah, I mean, the car is very nice fit and finish materials. The shifter is a little bit different to the Civic. Everything's a little bit nicer because again, it is more upscale. So let's see. Handles great, and again, it's front wheel drive, so right, you kind of get a little push, but when you accelerate, you don't really get a lot of torque steer. Again, it doesn't have a lot of torque. It's 192 foot-pound, but power is good enough. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video.